There's this idea that you can think about your specific person too much. And while there may be some validity to the idea, it definitely isn't what you may think it to be or what you may have heard it to be. This idea that if you think about your person too much, you're going to repel them, or it's not going to manifest them, or things like that, needs to be let go of, and instead replaced with the truth that can actually give you the confidence that no matter how much you think about your person, you can still have them, assuming you follow the tweaks and understanding that I give you in this video. Now, I like money, okay? Money is my main manifestation now that I have my specific person. I can assure you, money is on my mind a good 70% of the time that I'm awake, which you could consider is an extremely large amount of time. And by the manifestation community standards, probably too much. Therefore, in theory, I should be repelling money. But I can assure you that right now, I am the best financially that I have ever been. And I'm probably thinking about money more now than I ever have before, due to the way that my money situation is going and how everything is falling into place. So right now, it may not necessarily be a specific person, but you know, one thing is the same as something else when it comes to manifestation. But right now, I am living proof that you can think about something an excessive amount, but still manifest it. So like I said in that little intro, there's a tweak, there's an understanding that needs to be, well, understood and tweaked in order to ensure that whether it's 60% of your day, 70% of your day, 80% or more, you can still manifest your desire. That tweak is where you're coming from when thinking about something. The idea of manifestation is you are placing yourself within the awareness, your internal world, being that you have that which you desire to have. So let's take that into consideration for a moment in real world. If you actually had your desire, you would probably think about it quite a lot. Whether it's money, a specific person, a job, it would be a big involvement. If it's a person, you may wake up next to them. You'd probably text them all day. You'd probably have dinner with them. If it's a job, you would work there maybe 5 days a week and then have a weekend where you aren't at work. You think about emails you need to get back to or a meeting that you have on Tuesday. If it's money, it would dictate the house you live in. It dictate the food that you eat. It would dictate the clothes that you wear. It dictate everything that you have going on, because without the money to pay for stuff, you may find yourself not paying for stuff. So if when you actually had your desire, that thing would be on your mind a lot or a massive involvement in your life, why when manifesting can you not have the same things going on now? Why can you not think about your desire a lot if when you have it, you would be thinking about it a lot? Well, the tweaks that need to be made, and I did mention this in a video maybe a week or so ago, is the place in which you're thinking about your desire. If I think about my desire 90% of the time when I actually have it, that would be thinking from the perspective of having it. Therefore, showing the story to my subconscious mind that I do have this thing, therefore pushing it out. It does not matter how little or how much I think about it when I actually have it, because all of my thoughts, or at least a massive chunk of them, would be tailored towards the idea of it is mine. The only difference between you thinking about it a lot when manifesting and you thinking about it a lot when you have it is when manifesting, we can often be thinking about it from the perspective of trying to make it happen. This is where you may find yourself thinking about your specific person too much. It's not the quantity of thought that is too much. It's the quantity of thought that claims that you don't have it currently that is too much. You may be thinking about it from that perspective too much, which is why it's the problem. Right now, using my money situation, I think about it a massive chunk of my day. But all my thoughts are, my business is doing well, I can afford anything that I need, I can donate money with ease, I don't have to look at my bank account when I go out to the shop or something. All things that claim financial abundance. If I was thinking about it 70% of the time, but from the perspective of, oh God, I need to make sure I land these clients, otherwise that's it, I'm not going to feed my family, or, oh, I can't get that for my daughter because I don't have money, then it would be a problem. No matter how much I'd be thinking about it, it would be a problem. So right now, if you find yourself thinking about your specific person a lot, like they're on your mind a lot, that in and of itself isn't the problem. It's where you are coming from when thinking about your specific person. So take like a little inventory for a moment. Take like a personal inventory and think, how much do I think about my person? Just to get an idea. Maybe 30% of my day. Okay, now out of that 30% of your day, how much are you genuinely and honestly thinking from the perspective of having that person? Thinking about them messaging you, loving you, prioritizing you, being in a relationship, holding that mental awareness. Then that can give you a better idea of whether or not you're thinking about your person too much from the desired state, or, undesired state, or just simply thinking about your person as though they are yours. If you're thinking from the perspective as though they are yours, you could think about your person 100% of the time, because all it's going to be doing is adding on to the fact that you are claiming them to be yours. Now, one thing that I do want to make the distinction of is many people will say, if you think about them a lot, you're obsessed. Yeah, maybe you could argue that if it's on your mind a lot, then yes, you may have obsessive tendencies. I'm not going to deny the fact that I have obsessive tendencies with money, but having obsessive tendencies doesn't automatically create the fact that you don't have something. It doesn't automatically create the space of lack. The only reason why, at least me personally, I can't speak for other coaches, I recommend taking yourself out of obsessive tendencies is because most people are coming from lack when they're in those obsessive tendencies. Me, in my money situation, I'm obsessive about money from the space of having it. Most people in my situation would be obsessive with money from the perspective of trying to get it because they don't have it. So if you do think about your person a lot, that's fine. That's not the problem. But where are you thinking about them from the space of? That's what may or may not be the problem. Of course, if you're more in the end result, then it's all good. But if you're not, that's why you're thinking about your specific person too much. Too much from the space of not having, not just thinking about them too much. So there's two things that you can do about this. If you find yourself coming in that small percentage of people that are, not small percentage of people, but if you'll find yourself coming from that space of thinking about them too much from the space of not having, two things. First thing, notice when you're thinking from that perspective and try to catch it and redirect those thoughts back to a space of, yes, they are mine. It does not matter the fact that your thoughts have started from a space of not having, as long as you disassociate from that story, claim it to not be the case, and then place your awareness on what you want. If you're thinking about them not texting you and you're thinking about that a lot, that's the problem. So you say, no, that's not the case for me at all, because we are currently in loving and amazing communication. Or at the very least, no, that's not the case at all. He might just be busy right now. He'll get back to me when he can. So that's the first thing that you're going to want to do, is flip those thoughts away from anything that claims that you don't have that desire onto anything that claims that you do. He's so eager to text me. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. He loves me so much. We're in this relationship, yada, yada, yada. Whatever puts you in that state of having, catch yourself when you're not in that state and place yourself in it. That way, no matter how much you're thinking about them, you're directing those thoughts to a space of having them, which of course doesn't matter how much you're thinking about them because you are claiming that you have them. Now, the second way, and this does kind of not necessarily go against what this video is talking about, but it just helps it. Lessen the amount that you are thinking about them and ensuring that the amount that you do think about them is quality that you would want to experience. As I've said in like most of my videos, it's your dominant state that manifests. So if you think about someone a lot, you have more thoughts to have to ensure goes the way that you desire. This, typically speaking, is why people that are obsessed with thinking about their person tend to not have as great results as people that aren't obsessed. It's not because they are obsessed, it's because that obsessive way of thinking is coming from a space of not having. It's the quality of their thoughts that is the problem, not the quantity. So, or the quantity of the quality, if that makes sense, is they're thinking too much from a space of not having. So, let's say, for example, you think about your specific person 1,000 times a day. 501 of those thoughts need to be from the end space, if we're just going to put like a number on it for ease of explanation. Whereas if you think about your specific person only 100 times a day, 51 of those thoughts need to be from the end space. Therefore, less thoughts needing to be caught. So if you find yourself thinking of your specific person too much from the space of not having them, try to lessen the things that are causing those thoughts coming up. Any kind of triggers, any kind of internal stories that you could work on, how long you spend dwelling on those thoughts. Try to mitigate that as much as possible so that the amount of negative that you have to fight against is lessened. Therefore, meaning that you don't have to even think about your person that much to make it manifest easier, because dominancy is a percentage, not a quantity. You've probably experienced things that have manifested after like 2 thoughts, a song on the radio, a friend calling you, or something like that. This shows that it's not, I have to think about my person 10,000 times in order to make it manifest. This shows I need to ensure that whatever I'm trying to manifest has the story of having it more than it has the story of not having it. The more you think about something, the more negative thoughts you have to try to overcome. That's why, generally speaking, and I've said this already, but generally speaking, people that are more obsessed with their desires tend to struggle more. Not because of the obsession itself, not because of the quantity that they're thinking about the desire, but the quantity of the quality. They're not thinking from the perspective of having that desire enough to make it the dominant state. Therefore, they don't get the results. I think about money an awful lot of the time, and I still have good financial income. When I was manifesting Katie back, she was on my mind an awful amount of the time, but I was ensuring that my thoughts were coming from the end space. So if you're hearing things like, you're thinking about your person too much, therefore you're never going to manifest them, remember that it is the way in which you are thinking that manifests, not the amount that you are focusing on them, as an overall perspective. And if you can take a personal inventory on yourself and really understand where you're coming from, that will give you a better indication as to, no, I'm not overthinking, I'm just overthinking in the wrong space. Therefore, if I can do the tools that Matthew gave me earlier on, the 2 points, then I can bring myself back, provide myself the internal fulfillment in a better way, making it that no matter how much I think about them, it's dominant, therefore creating my outcomes. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, drop me a like and a comment to let me know. If you're interested in more specific person content, click this playlist that might be here or over there. I don't know where YouTube chooses to put it. I hope you enjoy the playlist, and I'll catch you lovely people in the next one. Bye-bye.